Cantu Garcia will be singing the national anthem. Natalie is a senior at Columbus North High School and just recently is the 2025 Brown Music Competition winner for vocal excellence. Please rise if you are able for the invocation, and please stay standing afterwards for the national anthem.
We ask everyone to bow their heads. Kind and gracious Father, first of all, I want to thank you for blessing our community, for all the caring people in our community, for the collaborative spirit that we have inside our community. Thank you for the people who try to show love to their neighbor. But Lord, we ask for your continued blessing. Lord, we ask you to bless the different institutions inside our city, the for-profits and the non-for-profits. Bless the volunteer leaders that love this city. Bless our ability to work together, even if we don't agree with each other. Help us to find that common ground. Bless those who are really struggling with all the recent changes that are happening today. Bless our city leadership, Lord. Bless our mayor. Lead and guide her through all she has to face. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that her flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, I think that probably gave us all some chills. That was amazing. Thank you, Natalie and Frank. And we have some nice acoustics in here as well. So, my name is Kestler, and I am honored to be here with you tonight as your at-large representative of City Council. I'm excited to kick off tonight's address where we'll hear from our mayor and recognize the hard work of our community. I want to start by thanking our dedicated department heads, city staff, police, and fire who work to keep our city moving and safe. A special thank you goes our public works department. I know that many students would rather you sleep in so they can get a 2-hour delay or no school, but I think the rest of us greatly appreciate your hard work during these very cold, long winter days. I'd also like to thank my fellow city councilors, who a number of them are here this evening, who spent countless hours working behind the scenes, reading reports, meeting with constituents, and balancing practical and oftentimes tough decisions for our city. We care deeply about this city, and I can see that each and every one of you recognize how important this role is. Whether it's housing, infrastructure, parks, or even roundabouts, your efforts should be recognized as you work to understand how our collective decisions impact each person in this room and in our greater community. So thank you so much, and I am honored to work with each one of you. People often ask, what's the hardest part about being a city councilor? And honestly, it's this. When I close my eyes every night, all I see are maps of zoning districts. Red, purple, green. I'm telling you, never in my life did I think I'd dream about I-2 versus I-3 or R4 or AP. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I think Jeff Bergman, our planning department director, is around here somewhere and would be happy to share. This work isn't always glamorous, and while I did not know that necessarily zoning would be on the agenda so often, and trust me, it's not the most exciting dinner table conversation when your 9-year-old asks you what you did at a meeting. But it's the most crucial work. City planning items are some of the most discussed topics on our agenda. The council's decisions today become the foundations of our city's growth and development. They represent the necessary building blocks to bringing the communal vision of Columbus into reality. So thank you to the planning department, of course, but all our departments as well. This past year, as city councilors, we learned a lot, and we had a lot of great successes. A few of those I'll just mention that I'm proud of are increased efforts of outreach and collaboration for those experiencing homelessness, substance use disorder, and mental health challenges. Several affordable housing projects and other housing projects. Nexus coming to a very close conclusion, as you can see outside. Crucial utility upgrades, and we cannot forget, after several years of conversation, an updated noise ordinance. So just a few of many. The work ahead for City Council is often filled with critical projects, as I mentioned, tough decisions, and a lot of debate. As your elected representatives, we all sought public service because of our individual passion of seeing this community grow and thrive. The challenge to deliver the city's directive to improve this experience of well-being for its people is an honor. This vision for American democracy and its promise to the cities should continue to inspire all of us, and especially the work we do as a city. Maintaining value-focused, opportunity-driven, and a community that welcomes its constituents as neighbors and friends. It's my home, it's your home, and I'm proud to help deliver the best vision we can. Last, and certainly most not least, thank you to the community. Students who organize donation drives and clean up our parks, retired teachers who mentor our youth, community advocates, and small businesses who donate items and host blood drives. You're not passive residents. You're unconventional thinkers, you're doers, you're assisting the vision to become reality. Your involvement isn't just necessary, it's essential. So thank you for everything you do, for building meaningful experiences together, big and small. It really makes this job rewarding. Columbus is really a special place, and that's because of you. So in closing, this was really just supposed to be a welcome, but I took my time. You know what? Keep asking how to fix those potholes, or how to improve playground accessibility, or about efficient bus routes, or code enforcement, or the timeline for a splash pad, or my husband's personal favorite, and I'm sure many of you, when are we getting an Olive Garden? Never say sorry for asking, whatever it is. I probably may not know the answer, but we can track it down and help find that solution together. These questions remind me that no matter what, we're always thinking about what makes our city better. Thank you so much, and I'm excited for what's ahead. It is an honor for me to welcome and introduce Columbus, Indiana's Mayor Mary Ferdon.
Thank you to Frank Griffin for your invocation, and Natalie, where are you? Thank you so much for your voice. You all helped set the tone for tonight, and I really appreciate it. Along with Grace, I want to acknowledge our city council members here, and I want to really extend my appreciation for the partnership that we have as we work together to conduct city business and move the city forward. So as you remember, back in 2024, we made it through year one as a Class 2 city, and we learned the game of playing with a full 9-member team. There were some fouls and some errors, but also a lot of home runs. So we're going to talk about several of those this evening. I also want to extend my warm thanks to any elected Bartholomew County state officials here tonight. So really, we thank you for your presence, and we thank you for your partnership. And lastly, thanks to the media for being here. You can see I'm all mic'd up, right? I want to have a reminder that we're on Facebook Live, so if you heckle me, we've got it on tape. During this time last year, the word of the night was possibility, as we focused on the many opportunities available to program and develop NexusPark. We had just opened this fieldhouse, and then in April, we became operational in the parks and recreation spaces. So we purposefully brought you here tonight so you can see the possibilities that we talked about last year and see that they've begun to come to fruition. So, over on the west side, you see volleyball, you see pickleball, and then you see youth baseball teams behind me. This is their regular Wednesday practice times. We've been booked solid with sporting events and tournaments for months. And a few weekends ago, we had a gymnastics event with over 800 gymnasts. We now have IU Columbus sports team practicing and playing here weekly with hundreds of fans attending. I think I see Zach McClellan. Is he here? Raise your hand, Zach. Anyway, there he is in the back. has opened 13 practices and services, and the number of walkers continues to increase. And if you're here during the day, you'll notice that. This summer, we will officially open the Midtown Green, the park here on the south side, and we should have most of the exterior campus completed at that time. Now, if you look at your program, hold up your program, you'll notice the word of choice tonight, for many reasons, is gratitude. So I want to pause and say thanks to the city's park and recreation team and our construction partners for all their work over the past 7 years to get us to this point. We've had hurdles and bumps, and we've done some pivoting along the way, but the long-term goal has never changed. Imagine a facility which serves the needs of our residents, visitors, and focuses on health, wellness, and recreation. And we're beginning to see redevelopment of this area of the city as a catalyst for new businesses and renovation of current businesses as they see increased people traffic and opportunities to grow. So thank you to Parson. As with every city, first and foremost, public safety is of primary importance. Having a safe environment is paramount to providing a quality of life which is attractive to residents, businesses, and industries. These are the words that I used last year when I spoke. And just last month, MoneyGeek.com ranked Columbus as #1 on the list of the safest small cities in the United States. While it's always satisfying to receive a ranking or award which validates what you've accomplished, this is especially gratifying as we've been laser focused on reducing property and violent crimes. We've seen a 12% reduction in property crimes since 2023 and an 18% reduction in violent crime. Those statistics are worth celebrating. Providing a safe environment also means having public safety officers, police and fire, who are well-trained and equipped with the tools they need to do their jobs. The city, with council support, has committed increased resources to attract and retain good employees. And we've had impact as we are effectively fully staffed in both the police and fire departments. Our firefighters are just as dedicated in providing a safe and secure environment through fire suppression, emergency medical response, disaster management, and public safety. And our city council has dedicated funding to help make sure all 6 fire stations have seen upgrades and are in good repair. Columbus Fire Department is moving forward to achieve accreditation through the Commission of Fire Accreditation International, which helps us identify best practices, continually self-assess what we do, and improve services to our residential and business customers. Our focus on safety, however, extends beyond manpower needs. In response to increased violent incidents nationwide, we've been proactive in identifying security needed for buildings and events, along with increased training for potential incidents with our regional partners. A bunch of them are in the back. So I'm going to pause here and say, it's quite a sight to see members of the Columbus Police Department, the Fire Department, Bartholomew County Sheriff's Office, the CRH Police Force, 911 Dispatch Office, Bartholomew County Emergency Management, and local volunteer fire departments when they do joint tabletop exercises or meetings as they plan and train for potential incidents. I can't tell you how fortunate we are as a community to have so many agencies work together, leave their egos at the door, to strategize on how to protect their constituents. We have so much gratitude for all the work that they do. So let's show our along with more focused training for employees and the public. Ironically, just like the Pentagon, we had a cyber attack last summer and realized our vulnerabilities. We've since tightened internal security and added new staff, software, in our housing needs. And as we talked last year, the lack of housing is a nationwide problem with no one-size-fits-all solution. Partnering with City Council and the Columbus Redevelopment Commission, the city undertook a housing study to identify housing strategies to ensure our housing market provides opportunities for all income levels. Our community development and planning staff took the lead and have worked tirelessly to understand the data and look at implementation strategies. Some of the high-level priorities we identified include preserving our existing housing stock through proactive rehabilitation programs, supporting affordable housing models, increasing the variety of types of housing, increasing availability of developable land, reviewing land use and zoning policies, and recruitment of developers. With the support and funding of City Council, we've already made inroads to start implementing strategies. We partnered with the Columbus Housing Finance Corp to acquire, rehab, and manage affordable homes. We've started rental assistance and eviction prevention programs with United Way, initiated programs to eliminate blight in our neighborhoods, and increased funding for home ownership rehabilitation to keep residents in their homes. Due to the work of dedicated local housing advocates, over the next few years, we'll see a number of housing developments come to fruition. Those include a 64-unit affordable senior housing project by Thrive Alliance, a 110-unit affordable housing development by TWG, and a 120-unit development with market rate affordable housing downtown. Two of the developments are supported with city TIF funding, and all three should break ground sometime later this year. We also have several other projects in early stages of development which will address our needs, but we have to recognize that providing affordable workforce and other housing is a long-term need which will require dedicated strategies for years to come. I recently read an article from the National Institute of Health describing the history of homelessness in the United States going back to the early 1800s. The reasons and the causes change over time due to economic conditions, but the stories are no less disheartening. Most people don't deliberately choose to be homeless, and as we learned, it often goes hand in hand with drug addiction and mental health problems. Our community has shown extraordinary compassion in helping those in need, and we've seen evidence of that this year as individuals, churches, and businesses in this community have been very engaged in public and private events. Last year at this time, I announced that Mark Stewart, president of United Way, had agreed to take on the Herculean task of leading an initiative to identify what homeless looks like here in Columbus, and how we can make it rare, brief, and non-reoccurring. And the Columbus City Council has been fully supportive of this effort and put financial resources to make it succeed. United Way quickly identified a stakeholder group, which met with landlords, case managers, social service providers, homeless, and their families to understand the full breadth of the issue as well as the everyday problems. This work identified three strategies. First, and most important, we have to prevent homelessness before it happens. Second, optimize our homeless response system using service providers, programming, and case management. And third, as we know, increase the supply of affordable housing options, which includes researching permanent supporting housing options. The United Way team hosted 3 well-attended public forums and launched a street outreach program to directly engage people experiencing homelessness and help them transition into stable housing. And they are redesigning the homeless service system to focus on long-term solutions. Late in 2024, the Columbus City Council approved a $500,000 for this work, and I congratulate them on doing it. And we've seen progress. United Way is actively working with 57 individuals who are currently homeless and have secured stable housing for 36 of them, in collaboration with numerous other local agencies, including Love Chapel, Rim Care, Centerstone, CRH, Engagement Center, and others. This is a complex problem, and we cannot solve it overnight, but I'm so grateful to the United Way team and others throughout the community that worked to get us this far. We have gratitude for all they've done, and we will continue to prioritize this issue going forward. Another basic service which empowers our residents to lead productive, active lives is transportation. Last year, we undertook another study around public transit. Our goal is to look at who rides, how they use transit, and imagine it better for both current and future customers. Going back in time again, in 1892, Columbus started public transit with mule cars. Yes, 133 years ago we used mules. We've come a long way. I'm going to pause here and give a shout out to our transportation staff. We have a 37-member team who work hard every day. In 2024, they provided over 228,000 city bus trips. Get it right now? They care and advocate for their passengers and understand how critical responsive transportation is for them. Just last month, during the large snowstorm we experienced, bus service was shut down. But two of our drivers volunteered to drive vans from city warming centers to the Brighter Days shelter to make sure people got there safely. I'm proud of our drivers who are so dedicated to take care of others in need. So what did we learn from our route study? Well, we learned that our community values and appreciates our friendly drivers and clean buses. People want additional service to Waynesboro and Taylorsville, which are locations of dense employment and retail. And there is a need for more point-to-point service, more of like an Uber or a Lyft system, where a person can reserve a demand response ride. So just as we move from mules to Cummins-powered transportation, so too are these new services being actively explored to increase access to retail, school, work, and medical care. And we'll be releasing more details on our study recommendations and planned implementation later this spring. And speaking of transportation, how about that Lowell Road roundabout? Kudos to city engineering for the time and effort they put into getting it constructed right. Amidst construction delays and lots of constructive criticism. So we're on a roll now, so thank you for that. According to Pew Research, about 62% of Americans own a pet, and about 32% have more than one. And 90% of those surveyed say their pets are part of their family. In other words, we love our animals. In Columbus, we have a highly engaged and active public interested and involved in the care of animals in our community, and as a result, they demand a high level of care for our animals. We're fortunate in Bartholomew County to have two options for animal care: the city shelter and the Bartholomew County Humane Society. And in 2024, city officials, along with our partners at the Humane Society, explored how to optimize animal care and find cost efficiencies through programming and shelter care. However, the city shelter was built in the 1980s and cannot accommodate current demand and best practices. Quite frankly, the current space is in dire straits, and we've had to band-aid it over the years just to keep a place where we can keep animals safe. And the work atmosphere for employees is tough. Overcrowding, heating and cooling issues, inefficiencies, and quite frankly, an unhealthy environment. And every year the costs for repair and upkeep continue to increase. We're now developing designs for a new facility, one that addresses these challenges in the most efficient way while employing best practices for animal care and placement. Our goal is to launch our building plans sometime next fall. Animals are yet another vulnerable population which requires community care. As we all know, the value of the city's downtown is often outsized to the actual real estate it covers. and showcases our legacy of architectural and design excellence. And something really fun is happening. In 2024, we took the steps to put a new stamp on our downtown by kicking off the Columbus Downtown 2030 study. We've partnered with Suzaki, an interdisciplinary design firm, to develop an updated downtown strategic plan, one that recognizes what we already have, incorporates recent developments and current initiatives, and provides a clear strategy to get activation going now, which is what people want, right? They want it now. So we're in the middle of the study and we've had a great response. The team has worked to hear from as many individuals and groups as possible, and I'm really grateful for the participation that we've had. Thus far, the Suzaki team has met with 500 stakeholders, 327 people attended the first public event, and have had over 1,400 people take the survey. Millbrace Park, wayfinding, streetscape, housing, programming, and no surprise, parking came up frequently in surveys. There will be more options to get inputs from community members, and we'll have a blueprint this summer with the goal to get moving quickly. As we focus on the downtown, we realized it was time to rethink the riverfront project and see realistically what we could accomplish. Because of the years it took to get the regulatory alphabet agency's approval, the costs have grown exponentially. So we've taken a pivot on the riverfront. The focus now is on fixing the dam and landfill aspects which pose current and future dangers, and making sure the People's Trail gets extended to create a safe pathway around the river. Clearing work is underway, and we will continue to move forward with this critical project. Okay, now we're going to do some time travel. We're going to go back to the year 2000. What do you remember? Yes, we survived the new millennium. No huge shutdowns or catastrophes. For the first time, astronauts took residence on the International Space Station. Bush v. Gore was finally decided. Arvin Industries merged with Meritor, and most Americans didn't have this. Do you remember life before this? A lot has happened between then and now. Social media platforms have been widely adopted, leading to a hyper-connected world. The integration of technology like AI into daily business and personal lives poses a huge learning curve with both opportunities and risks. We've seen an increase in climate-related disasters, which brings significant costs. We've weathered a pandemic. How and where people work has evolved, and the nature of social interaction has changed. The next 25 years will bring more changes. Some planned, but many out of our control. How we react and respond to those changes reflects who we are as a community and what our public values are. But just react is not how we do things in Columbus. Since 1964, the quote from J. Irwin Miller has been embraced by Columbus's citizens as a guiding light, encouraging the highest aspirations and demanding excellence in all we do. And I quote, "We would like to see this community come to be, not the cheapest, but the very best community of its size in the country." So, can we take this aspirational statement, dust it off as we move deeper in the 2000s, and adopt this as our collective vision for the future? A shared community vision which ensures we maintain a long-term focus on key community initiatives, regardless of short-term needs. A group of forward-thinking citizens came to Mayor back in 2023 to begin asking these questions. Later this year, we'll talk publicly about how this visioning process will take place. Volunteerism in the United States plays a critical role in our civil society. In Columbus, giving back is, quite frankly, just in our DNA. In my role, I meet a lot of people, and I rarely meet a person who doesn't volunteer somewhere. For their church, a local not-for-profit, coaching a sport, a robotics team assisting people at CRH, planning a local event or festival, caring for hospice patients, walking a shelter dog, or using construction skills to rehab homes. And the list goes on. The reasons we volunteer vary, but the value of the time and talent we give is priceless. In Columbus, we're fortunate to have volunteers every day who give their time, passion, and expertise to be members of a city board, a commission, or a committee. It can be a tough job. Making decisions which affect your neighbors' lives is difficult, but it's extremely valuable to have ordinary people make decisions for their community which reflect community values. On the back of your program, hold it up, look at it. We've listed the city's primary boards and commissions. This is not a complete list, as sometimes we have short-term needs, but it gives you an idea of the extent of our volunteer pool. The number of members per board varies, but we estimate on a yearly basis about 140 community members give their time and talent to make this city work. In addition, we have numerous other volunteers who spend time in quiet work, helping behind the scenes with little family. They walk dogs, they clear our trails and our rivers, they fundraise for parks and animals, they provide counseling to city staff, they volunteer at city events, and they serve on planning commissions. Their contributions can never be fully measured or counted, but we can acknowledge and appreciate all they do. And so I would ask anyone who's a volunteer, would you please rise so that we can recognize you. I also want to recognize Columbus City employees. At last count, we had 465 full-time employees and about 330 seasonal and part-time employees, and they support 20 city departments. Simon Sinek, a motivational author, argues that people are more likely to work for a company or organization if they believe in its purpose. I believe that our employees take pride in the work they do because they recognize that their work allows our citizens to take care of their families, to go to their jobs, to run their businesses, and live their life. They make Columbus work. They do it proudly and not without sacrifice at times. So tonight, let me reiterate to all city employees my thanks to you for what you do, and I ask those of you here to extend your thanks also. And finally, love that word, finally. To make things official, the state of our city is strong. Not because we don't have problems, because we do, and we've talked about some of those tonight. Our strength comes from our legacy of partnerships and recognition of opportunities and our willingness to take risks, to lean into challenges. This strength also shows in our resiliency and our capacity to recognize wrongs and then to address them. Our desire to be the best focuses our attention on areas where we aren't, and we need to improve. So yes, we're strong, and I'm grateful to you for making this a place where you can aspire to be bold and brave and unapologetic about wanting to be a welcoming community which people are proud to call home. So thank you very much.